Welcome. Tonight's program will dive deep into fringe knowledge of lost, hidden, and suppressed truths about the nature of our reality. The decoding process can be uncomfortable and at times frightening. However, you are not alone on this journey of understanding. Welcome to the Shadow Band Podcast.
What's up, bro?
I'm Jewish and FBI now.
You found a new religion, huh?
Yes. Shalom.
Salam alaikum. What's up, brother? I like the holster straps, bro.
I gotta identify as FBI now
It's pretty fresh.
and Jewish, because apparently you can get away with anything now.
I feel like my camera's like 5 seconds behind.
Yes.
It is, right?
Yeah.
God, hold on. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
Been a
guys.
while.
The feds are messing with us, dude.
Been a while.
It's been a while. Since I ever saw you.
Hopefully it catches up. If not, whatever. It's closer. All right. So, what up, bro? It's been a hot minute, dude.
It's been quite a minute, but we're back, and things are not going well in the country.
Where do you want to start, bro?
I mean, the deep state is alive and well, dude. I'm part of them, but I'm also calling out my own agencies, okay? I'm calling out my own people.
That's good. Somebody's got to do it.
The Hebes and the feds they're not doing good right now.
Somebody's got to do it, man. Leave it up to Trooper Chuck. Call him out.
I mean, look. Apparently he killed himself.
Apparently, there's no client list.
Apparently he wasn't that bad of a guy.
Nah, he's a good guy, actually.
He's checkered past at most.
Bro, it's so mind-blowing to me, bro. Like, there's no co-conspirators. The people who brought the kids to the island, the pilots.
Nothing happened on the island, dude.
Nothing happened.
What a world, bro.
Diddy's free.
Hey, all that baby oil, nothing happened.
Diddy's free too, bro.
All that money, all those islands, nothing happened.
Oh man, dude. You know, there's a lot of people who are really pissed off right now.
There's a lot of people who are really happy right now, dude.
That too. You know. Jeez.
There's a lot of people that are freaking standing on tables right now just doing dancing.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, that's a whole crazy thing, bro. I cannot believe that. Dude, okay, so Pam Bondi said that she had the client list on her desk. This was like 2 months ago, okay? Attorney General Pam Bondi was like, we have the client list on the desk. Phase 2 was what they called it, right? They were prepping for phase 2 of the Epstein documents and the whole situation, right? Kash Patel was even like, we got some stuff here, okay? He went on Joe Rogie's, and he downplayed it a little bit on Joe Rogie's, but he did say things like, like there's some stuff that's interesting, blah, 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 blah. But he also said, it's not going to, like, satisfy the quote-unquote conspiracy theorists. Clearly, he was right about that. But then we find out that there was no client list, and he did kill himself, and there's no co-conspirators. So what was the lady's name? Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. For what?
Trafficking Who?
So wait. So she did all of the trafficking? Is that what we're saying here? Is that what we're not us, but you know.
No. We're in agreement. This is the right wing government that got in there and was like, when Kash Patel was telling everybody, why is everything being like not disclosed, and why is blah, 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 and he's like, because of who's on that client list.
Odin the Signature says there was no island.
So, hey, what do you mean? Who owned it, dude? Nobody. What, a guy can't go to the beach?
Oh man, dude. I knew this was gonna happen.
Bro. Dude, no. You know what's going to come out next? JFK killed himself. JFK blew his own brains out.
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald, not a bad guy.
Yeah, no,
We
he's
got
a
the
good
wrong
guy.
Yeah,
Would you say checkered past at best? Like
checkered past at best, dude. JFK stood,
yeah.
blew his own brains out in the middle of Texas.
Oh man, you know, how far away are we from the dungeons where they were collecting adrenochrome and stuff like that? We are so far away from that now.
Yeah, that's it, man. We'll never get anything actually disclosed. Aliens, they're gonna be like, what aliens? What are you talking about? What, man? What, you know what they're gonna be like now? What weapons of mass destruction?
Bro.
There weren't any weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein, checkered past at best.
Yeah. Bro.
Twin Towers? What Twin Towers?
There was no Twin Towers.
We're still talking about Twin Towers? Like Trump was doing? We're still talking about Jeff Epstein?
I saw that, dude. Oh man, bro.
We're still talking about that creep? We got Texas flooding?
It's crazy, man, because I've said this before, man, on base layer reality, okay? Like no conspiracy, just base layer reality, right? I was like pro Trump. I'm like, okay, you know, it makes sense, right? Like common sense stuff, right? The border, you know, the economy, you know, base layer. Sounds great. Oh, okay. He hears a red heifer back there.
Don't talk about Jade like that.
That's not what I meant.
God dang, Russ, your cousin. Hold on, there's a big spider.
Oh no, dude, they're listening.
Could be. It might be a drone. Let me see.
That's hilarious. He's just walking into the Star of David. Wow.
Sorry about that. Feds are trying to get me with the old spider in the shoe trick.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Crystal was just telling me she saw a meme today, and it was the Trump and Epstein hanging out, and then what did it say? This picture didn't exist. This picture never existed. Anyways, listen, like I was saying, base layer reality, I was for Trump, right? You know, build the wall, whatever, immigration, the economy, you know, blah 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 blah. Okay, cool, yeah, I'm there, right? But now, bro, like, dude, like, he must have been on the list, bro.
I don't know, man. And Alex Jones is over here, clearly part of like the Q thing, where he's like, well, actually, what might happen is that they're going to use the list to blackmail the people that are on the list. It's like, no, they're not.
Like 4D chess in the 4D chess.
There's no list.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? If they said there is a list, but we can't release it, then you go, okay, maybe they're going to use the list, but there is no list.
Shout out to Alex Jones for at least like trying to play the mind game to figure it out, you know, like at least he's still in the game. He's like, they're going to use the list, you know, like he's still there.
It's very QE. Trump is still president.
Yeah. You know,
All right.
But you know, it's interesting because you know, all the Elon Trump breakup thing that happened in Doge.
You need to apologize to Elon.
Listen, Doge was getting the intels, right? They were in the systems. They were in there right? And they were getting the info, and homeboy said Trump's on the list, and everybody was like, oh, you know, here Elon's losing his mind, and then the other people were like, you see, he's on the list. And then I don't know if you noticed this, after that, Elon goes to the White House with a black eye. Humiliation ritual, anyone?
I mean, that's a pretty common thing, dude, to get a
Right?
black eye. Yeah.
Then he comes out and he tweets, "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean it. I was just, I was pissed," or whatever he said in that tweet. And then you saw what he tweeted. I think it was today he tweeted it, or it might have been yesterday. He was like, "That's the final straw."
Bro, tell us. Tell us. Bro, put the evidence out there. We'll impeach Trump, and then we'll set up Elon as supreme overlord. No more presidents, no more anything. We'll absolve the government, and he's supreme overlord, and we'll let the AI rule the nation.
And well, you see, he just started a new political party.
Yeah.
Bro, we've been talking about this, man. Like,
We've been talking about this,
bro. Jeremy said something to me the other day. He was like, I think you said that the quote is like, what's the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory? Time. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like something I would probably say.
Yeah. There it is, man. We're going to get a new political party, and it's going to be the AI is going to rule everything. They're going to be like, there is no list.
Yep. And they're going to be like,
searching archives. Tower 7 exploded on its own.
Yeah, bro. That's literally what's coming, bro. The new political system. He's going to use the whole, like, you can't have corruption. The AI can't be corrupted, right? So.
Bro, you see the FBI is saying that, like, there's nothing with Epstein, and then continuing to say that Epstein was indeed part, like, intelligence and all that stuff is anti-Semitic, and that's what they're here to investigate.
And then what do you think about the Iran thing that happened like a couple weeks ago?
Listen, everybody, here's what we're getting to. This is Biden, this is COVID, this is everything is getting so incredibly extreme. All of the conspiracies that we've been saying are these things. They're not theories, they just haven't been mainstream yet. They're getting so blatant, right? We're in fake wars, and it's getting so obvious. The government is siphoning money through NGOs, and it's now so obvious. The right and the left wing are just on the same bird, and it's going in one direction, and we're doing nothing to change the direction. It's getting so obvious. Everybody's been saying that we are the United States of Israel for so incredibly long. And then when Trump gets into office and goes, we're not doing no wars, and then goes and bombs a country that literally everybody's been wanting to bomb for 40 years because Israel asked him to, is like, and then Epstein had no client list right after. What are you talking about? It's like, it's getting so obvious now. This is Joe Biden fake ballots. It's so obvious now.
Yeah, bro. It's ridiculous. But you know what this is, man? I don't know if you're aware of this, but we're at the cusp of multiple cyclical things. I don't know what word to use here, but so every 80 years, there's like a massive like monetary shift, right? That happens, right? Like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a
paradigm shift.
Sure, that'll work. Okay, right. And then also every 250 years, there's like an even bigger like shift that happens, right? And it's always cyclical. Okay. Well, guess what? We're coming up on the 250th birthday of the United States.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah. Was that next year, right?
Yeah. All right. And then you got 80 years since the creation of the Federal Reserve and all that stuff that happened. Okay. Bro, super bullish on Bitcoin right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
All I'm going to say. New
Yes.
monetary regime is coming, bro. Like they are going to shift everything. They're going to collapse the systems that we know, and they're going to bring about the new age, man. The new world order is literally coming like real quick, bro.
So what's this thing now? Speaking of Bitcoin, let's take a quick pivot here. Where I think it's in the big beautiful bill that if you do not have like activity in your wallet or whatever for a certain amount of time, then it's considered abandoned and the government can confiscate it.
I don't
Is
know
that real?
about that. I'll have to look into that, but that's impossible. Well,
I mean,
there's a caveat to that. It
yes.
is possible if your Bitcoin is on exchanges. So if you're buying Bitcoin on Coinbase, Robinhood, Kraken, any of these big exchanges where you can buy crypto and you're leaving it in the wallet that is owned by these exchanges, then yes, the government can come in and confiscate that. It's no different than your bank account. You don't own it. The saying goes, not your keys, not your cheese, bro. Okay. However, the people who are smart enough to take their Bitcoin off of exchanges and put them into cold storage wallets that are not connected to the internet, right? You cannot confiscate that. The only way you could confiscate that is by putting a gun to my head and making me give you the keys to the cheese. Ain't gonna happen, brother. So yes, it can be confiscated unless you're doing it properly.
Man, dude, I don't like that.
It's just like gold, right? Back in the day, people would leave their gold in the bank, right? A lot of people just like deposited their gold into the banks. Okay. Well, what happened in 1971? Nixon took us off the gold standard, and they confiscated whatever gold they wanted. To this day, right? If you're Alex Jones or somebody, they'll go into the bank and shut your bank account down, and they'll confiscate your gold, right? But if the people who took their gold and buried it in the backyard, good luck confiscating that, brother, right? So it's the same kind of concept.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to set up, at least what I was reading a little bit, and I should have saved it, but I didn't, I don't think, was basically it looks like they're laying the groundwork for when CBDCs or whatever they're called. No.
Yep, central bank digital currencies.
Yeah, when that is set up and then you get your like yearly allotment from the government,
Uh huh.
you're not going to be able to store it up. You got to keep using it.
Right.
So it looks like they're trying to lay the groundwork for, yeah, if you're, I think it's 3 years. If you let your like wallet sit or whatever, it's up for confiscation. It's considered abandoned. At least that's what I was reading. So I don't know. I mean,
I'll look into
anything can
that.
be fake now, but I mean, it's kind of like I see groundwork being laid.
I'll look into that. But there is like I said, man. There's
Yeah, there's protections against
secure
it.
yeah there's secure ways that you can hold your not just your Bitcoin, any cryptos really. I mean, you can put them in cold storage, and like they're not connected to the internet, so there's nothing you could do, right? It's on the
Yeah,
blockchain. The blockchain's decentralized. There's no way you can confiscate that. So
yeah.
just do it right, people. If you're gonna do it right. Don't just buy it and leave it on Coinbase. Also, those exchanges can be hacked. They get hacked all the time, and people get their shit stolen. So don't leave it there. That's dumb.
Yeah.
you know. But they did just pass, or they're about to pass. I don't know exactly. I think they did pass the stable coin bill. So there's a whole thing with Tether. It's pegged 1 to 1 with the U.S. dollar, right? So like one Tether is worth $1 always and forever, right? It's a stable coin. It's in the word. They just passed a bill to be able to use that, and they're going to export stable coins to the rest of the world so that the rest of the world has access to the dollar, right? Because if you're living in, like fucking Nigeria, right? You don't want to use Nigerian dollars, right? They suck. The US dollar sucks too, but it's the best one of the suck. So everybody in the world wants US dollars. So, and if you're living in a place like Nigeria or wherever, and like the government doesn't allow you to, get US dollars for goods and things like that. Well, now we're going to export these stable coins so that the rest of the world has access to US dollars, right?
What do
It's
we
not
call it? Like inflation coin?
it's just called a stable coin. It really should be called what's the word I'm looking for?
Fiat coin?
Debasement coin, right? They're just debasing it all the time. because it's pegged 1-to-1, right? If the dollar goes to zero, so is the stable coins.
Monopoly
So,
coin.
yeah, something. But there is some stuff there. I don't know. Like it gets a little complicated and into the
Yeah.
weeds, but yeah, I'll have to look into that big beautiful bill situation a little more.
I mean, it's only 900 pages. It's a quick read.
Just throw it into one of the AI Overlord apps and have it summarize it for you. Pretty
Yeah.
easy. In fact, one of my buddies the other day was saying, "Oh, he's talking about the overtime, tax on overtime and all that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't want to pay tax on anything, so that's a step in the right direction, right?" And then he was saying, I guess somebody that he watched on YouTube was saying that they're gonna shave the threshold to hit overtime. So instead of 40 hours, that they were gonna shave it down to 32, and everything over that is overtime.
Oh, sick.
It sounded odd to me, so I grokked it, and Grok said no, that's not in there at all. So I don't know. I didn't read the whole thing, but
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's on a state level anyway.
yeah, there's a lot of the stuff that's in that bill that's going to the states, like SNAP, like food stamps and stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like federally funded, it's going to be state funded. So in some cases,
God,
yeah,
that's terrible.
in
Bro.
some cases you're screwed, right? Like
Kansas get rocked, dude.
a lot of people are going to lose their benefits because it's going to go to their state, and their state may not have the funding or the
California's gonna
care.
be hammered.
Right. But then there's a flip side to that, right? Like there's going to be other states that have like better funding
Yeah.
for these social programs than
You
the
know what? I
federal
take it back,
government.
Kansas. You're probably really fiscally responsible. I mean, California and New York are going to get absolutely decimated.
Yeah, they're getting
It's
nuked.
going to be wastelands out there.
Yep,
It already
100%.
is, but it's going to be worse.
100%, bro. Yeah, all that stuff's crazy, man. But I do see with all this stuff happening, like in the macroeconomic sectors, right? It does seem like there's about to be a massive monetary change globally, right? And
Yeah, and everything I've been listening to this history podcast. It's not a real history podcast. It's more just like a comedic history podcast, but you still get like this sense of like every time something is happening, or like a leader or an organization or whatever is like, ooh, and then they're doing something over here. It's always like gifts to the people and handing out money and blah, just all this kind of like, oh, we're so great. And meanwhile,
yeah, it's the bread and circus
secret
thing.
police are going around rounding people up. It's like,
It's the bread and circus thing that the Romans did, right? As Rome was collapsing, they didn't want the people to revolt and know that the collapse was happening. So what they do, they built the Colosseum, and they handed out free bread to everybody that went to these free games. They were like dishing out money, like social programs, basically. Like all this stuff was happening. So people were like,
UFC at the White House.
yeah, people were like happy, and then oops.
Sorry. Well, it's like, again, it's just like that fever pitch. It's the crescendo. It's everything is getting to the most extreme that you could get to up to a certain point. It just can't keep building. It can't keep getting super obvious. It's got to like eventually go like, oh, okay, this is a sham and we're done. You know what I mean? Like how Elon's tweeting, it's like, that's it.
Well, that's the thing
done.
too that people don't realize is that when those collapses, I said that right, happen, it's like abrupt, right? It's not like something that it takes forever and like multiple generations you don't notice it, right? Like the buildup takes multiple generations and you don't notice it. But when the shift happens, right? Whether I'm talking about the 80-year cycle or the 250-year cycle, when those things hit, it's like, bam,
Yeah.
know?
It is
So-
a plane into the towers.
Yeah,
Bam.
pretty much. Yeah, literally.
The buildup takes a while. Someone buys that building, that monetary exchange, puts insurance on it, and then bam,
Doesn't show up to work one time in his life that morning.
bam.
Yep. Larry Silverstein. Lucky,
I mean,
lucky guy.
That's just what I'm saying, bro. It gets so obvious. It's getting really, really crazy how just out in the open, they can't hide it anymore. It's like they're trying, you can see like them scrounging and like just grasping at straws to try to be like, no, nothing is here. Look at all the COVID stuff that's coming out now about the vaccine. It's like 11,000%. I'm sorry, hepatitis. Is 11,000% increased for like all these different symptoms, and autism being one of them. People have been saying this for so long, and it's becoming more and more and more obvious. And then they go out there and RFK goes out there and exposes everything, and then people are still like, yeah, but that guy tried to eat a whale. It's like,
Yep.
bro.
Or they'll ban the red dye. They'll ban the red dye, and everybody's like, "Hooray! We're making progress. They banned the red dyes." And it's like, yeah, but you know, the GMOs, you know,
They just flooded Texas with fake clouds.
Bro, okay, that's a thing. We should talk about that. Okay, listen,
dude.
Okay, it's
Go ahead,
probably
dude. Spit.
it's probably dead internet bots, okay, that I'm arguing with on Facebook about this, bro. But like, I got into it with some random schmuck on a comment on some random post, and they were like, I don't remember exactly what the post was. It was like, oh, Trump, you know, cuts off funding to NOAA, and then look what happens, the floods. And if he didn't do that, they would have warned everybody about the floods. And right. It's like, okay, listen, bro. Listen, bro. Yeah. Think harder, okay? Because I can literally take you to NOAA's website where the freaking list of weather modification programs are that tell you that they're literally spraying things in the clouds to increase rainfall, decrease rainfall.
Over.
Okay, so maybe we should pull all the we just shut NOAA down, right? Because there's so much. Me and Jeremy were talking about this on Infinite Rabbit Hole the other day. Homeboy, do you watch Sean Ryan's podcast?
Yeah.
So Homeboy goes on Sean Ryan's, right? And he's the cloud seeding guy. You saw that one?
Yeah, he's got that fly mullet.
Yeah, he's got a sick mullet. So he goes on there, right? And once again, he's talking openly to the public like, no, cloud seeding is 100% real. We are spraying chemicals in the sky to alter the weather patterns, right? Boom, chemtrails. Okay. So he does that. And Jeremy brought this up to me. I don't know. I haven't verified this, but I'm sure Jeremy did because he wouldn't say it if he didn't. That guy was there in Texas doing these programs where the flooding happened.
Yeah, he is.
So
his company does it. So farmers will request you to rain. We need rain. So his company will go out and start blowing stuff up in the sky, spraying stuff.
Read the comments.
Sorry, they're not coming up in Riverside.
Yeah, they're not coming up. I can't see
Oh
them.
no.
On what, Twitch?
Yeah, bro.
Let me pull Twitch up. Bluetooth.
Our boy just got in the chat.
Who? Shinobes?
The more.
The more.
Oh man, that's funny.
The
That's
more
best
you
comment.
know.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, man. It's just like, I don't understand how people like cloud seeding is real. They were doing it the next county under, like south, I think. What do you mean? What funding? It's all private. Trump cut what funding?
Well, that's the
They're
problem.
private companies.
That's the problem. The private companies are not beholden to that law. I forget what the statute says, which number it is, right? But the law states that public. You see the comment? It's funny, right? The law states that public funds used for weather modification have to be disclosed, and they're published on NOAA's website, the website that I'm talking about. But that's public funds. That's the government and government-sponsored companies and agencies that are doing that have to be, published publicly. All the private shit doesn't, dude. And there's way more private shit than public, just like anything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're people are like, oh, hey, listen, we should all be looking into these companies and how like they coincide with the wildfires, how they coincide with the mudslides, how they coincide with like all these companies. They operate independently of each other, and there's not there's crosstalk, but I'm sure there's not that much crosstalk. Like, what happens when you start weather modifying, and then they're also doing radar blasts of different stuff, and then they also are shooting, like, the some other agency is doing some other cloud seeding thing, chemtrail spraying, and then all of a sudden DARPA decides to do some friggin' direct energy weapon on something. It's like you got all these chemicals in the sky, all this junk in there, and then I don't know.
Well, they're definitely not cross communicating because it's competitive.
Yeah, and also some of this stuff is freaking top secret.
It's top secret. It's like anything else in the private sector. They're competing with each other, right? They're competitors. So I'm not going to tell you what I'm spraying and why and what the effects were, because then now you have the edge on the next one, right? So yeah, you're right. They have it's just a fucking free for all out there, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. They're over in California spraying chaff on everything, and then when the wildfires start while they're doing weather modification stuff, it's like, yeah, no, obviously. This reminds me of the Carolina flooding. That was wasn't that a hurricane?
Tropical storm.
Was it? Yeah, was it just a tropical storm? Again, it's like they have all these programs, and then like what happens when this thing just takes a left turn when you were cloud seeding over there, and then you get Harvey, then you get this thing parked over, for 3 days, just flooding everything. I mean, you can clearly see as Harvey's moving over, all these new rain systems forming inside of a hurricane. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What do I know, dude? I'm just Jewish.
Well, we haven't even talked about we haven't even talked about the earthquake weapons.
What's that? I don't even know about that.
It is what I said. Earthquake weapons.
Earthquake weapons.
Okay. Yes, earthquake weapons, bro. They can use like harmonic resonance and frequencies and cause earthquakes, right? And there's documents on this. Don't make me pull them up, but they're there.
Yeah, we don't do research.
Do your own research. I don't know if you noticed this, but during the whole Iran thing, we're bombing the nuclear facilities in Iran and all that shit, there was like earthquakes that happened right where the facility was prior to the bombing.
You don't say.
Right? Japan has been getting hit with earthquakes consistently for like the last couple weeks, right?
Really?
How long? Let's play the guessing game. How long do you think it'll be before the earthquake weapons just becomes part of the normal talk in the public sphere, like weather modification is now?
Honestly, man, I would not be surprised. Like, okay, I think that the quote from the guy that was like, I don't know what we'll fight, or whatever the quote is about, like World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones.
Right.
Whatever. Because of all the nuclear stuff.
Yeah, we go back to the Stone Age, yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get to nuclear first. There's a real possible chance that with all of this weather modification technologies that's out there, you could just flood Iran. Or just drought it. Just no rain. Hey, you get no rain now. Or just earthquake Taiwan. China doesn't even have to enter. Just earthquake it, turn it into rubble. And then, we'll save you. Hey, we'll come in and rebuild.
That's
the
it,
ultimate
man.
Hegelian dialectic, dude. The ultimate one.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Is the ultimate Hegelian, dude.
the quote was, I don't remember who, Eisenhower, one of these guys, one of these lizards, control the weather, control the world, right?
Yeah.
Could have been Churchill or somebody. I don't know, one of these guys. That was like
It
80
wasn't
years ago.
He didn't say that.
Huh?
It wasn't Epstein. Epstein didn't say that.
Epstein would never say something
Epstein
like
would never say something. That's crazy.
that. No, he was a pretty good
How
guy.
old is she? Maybe, but that's it. 16, old, ill, gross, too old? Maybe he said that, but he didn't say anything about the weather.
They released an 11-hour video of some cell doors from the outside, of course, right? And they were like, that's Epstein's cell. Look, you can see nobody went in. I have so many problems with that, bro. I can't even...
You saw the doors are different, right?
I don't even know if that was the same prison.
It could have been any prison. But
Could've been
also
any-
the picture from the murder scene and the cell door videos are two different doors.
Yep. Could have been different times, different cells. Could have just been a fake video to begin with. It could have been a, you know,
Yeah,
a-
because because nothing happened. And the minutes skipped. So
oh my God, we live in clown world, bro. It's crazy, man. Oh God, man.
nothing will ever be nothing will ever be disclosed again, ever. This
No.
is that's it. So I've been seeing, and this is not to get back onto like, okay, we got to get back into the conspiracy on this, right?
That was the underground detention center at Disneyland.
That's funny. So I saw, and I was in the hospital with my son, right? He had pneumonia, and I'm watching Cash Patel on Rogan, and I'm pacing around the room, like this guy is clearly lying, and even Jamie called him out on it. It was like, well, what about all this? What about the stacks of hard drives? Because Cash Patel's trying to say there's not that much stuff. There's not a lot of evidence. Like we got videos and stuff, but it's like, we're working our way through it. But it wasn't like, it's not like a ton of whatever. It's like there's mountains of hard drives. There's secret rooms. There's multiple places. What in the world is the Duke of York doing with Ghislaine Maxwell and a 16-year-old girl in an apartment? Right? Huh? So I'm like, this guy is he's full of it. And then come to find out that he's dating like a 26-year-old executive of PragerU who's also served with the IDF and is like chairman on an NGO that works directly with Israel.
Oops.
Cash?
Oops.
What are you doing, Cash? Hey, and his name's Cash and he's with a Jew.
That proves it.
Getting so obvious, dude.
That proves it. Oh man.
Holy
Bro.
moly, dude. It's like you couldn't get right more on the nose than that.
Yeah,
I only just thought of that, dude.
yeah,
I only
I
just
think,
thought of that just now.
I think the hope that I had that we were going to start getting some real information, stuff was actually going to get disclosed. I think it's done,
Dashed
bro.
to pieces? It's dashed to pieces.
It's done. Yeah, it's never going to happen.
No.
No.
I mean, if I was RFK right now, I would fully expect the JFK files to either never come out or then be like, yeah, Harvey Oswald shot him. Open shut. No more investigation. I fully expect the COVID, everything, then be like, it was a bat. Open and shut. Done.
yeah.
Guy ate a bat. Sorry.
Yeah, speaking of the COVID thing, I brought this up to Jeremy the other day on Infinite Rabbit Hole. Do you remember that study? I pulled it up. It was the NIH study on the connections between coronavirus and 5G. Remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
I went through that a little bit. I read the abstract,
As one does.
one of those, and yeah, bro, it says right there, I forget the exact terminology, is statistically, statistical correlation between the outbreaks and, cities that were propping up and turning on 5G at the same time, right? Like, and it's like, I feel like that was the last thing, man, that we got that was like, oh, right? And then everything since then has just been like garbage. Just lies, bro. All
Yeah.
of it.
Well, also, like, everyone will come out and be like, significant and statistically significant are two different numbers. All right, dork.
Sure.
Let me tell you something.
Man, dude. Yeah,
Let me
it's
tell you
crazy.
something.
bro.
It's
crazy.
dangerous out there, and a lot of people died, and a lot of people's hearts stopped in major cities that were healthy after getting the jab.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ladies that just couldn't have babies, or were like on permanent periods.
And we forgot about the shedding.
Yeah.
We just all forgot about the
Pro-
shedding.
protein shedding or whatever they were calling it. What was it called? Spike shedding?
Yeah, like the spike protein shedding, right? So like you basically you get the jab and then like you're basically contagious with the jab. Speaking of that, have you seen the vaccines in the food?
Yeah.
Vaccines in food, bro.
Yeah. That's what we voted for, dude.
So I remember talking about this like years ago. I was like, this is going to happen. They're going to put the vaccinations in whatever they want, right? The food, the water, all that stuff. And I said that kind of like, not jokingly, but, you know, like hyperbolically at the time, right? Then I saw something like a month ago, and it was like a little clip, a little video clip, and it was like, yeah, you know, like you're not going to know when you go get your lettuce if there's, you know, if this one's a pharmaceutical lettuce or if it's a natural lettuce. So then I started looking into it. They actually held a hearing, I think, in Congress over this, and one of the guys was like, "Is this legal?" And the response was, "It's not illegal." Right? There's no legislation one way
That's
or
what we
the
voted
other.
Yeah. That's great.
So it's
I like
like,
that.
how long have we all been eating whatever vaccine, some fun vax, freaking potato chips? You know, like, how long?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Nobody knows. And you know what's never gonna come out?
What?
Fauci for president, bro. Chill. Chill. Listen, we all need to convert to Judaism so we can do and say whatever we want, and yeah, with impunity. And not only that, but be heralded as heroes. And also, no one can speak against you. That's what I want. I want the impunity. Nobody can say anything to me now because I'm Jewish, and anything you say negative about me is anti-Semitic. Okay, the more.
There you go.
Watch
There it
yourself.
is. There it is.
I'll sick the IDF on you, dude.
Don't get reported and deported, bro.
Reported and deported. Yeah, dude. You
know what I
friggin'
mean?
end up in no, what's that? Dude, the deportations, bro.
Alligator
him.
Alcatraz.
I love him, dude. That guy in what's it? Where's he at? Ecuador?
Which guy? Oh, El Salvador.
El Salvador. Bro, that guy is a freaking G, dude. Can we get him for president over here?
Listen, let me tell you how much of a G Nayib Bukele is, because that's who you're talking about, the president.
That's
of
what
El
I'm
Salvador.
talking about, bro. That dude is gangster.
Not only is he being a gangster with the deportations, El Salvador is the first country to recognize Bitcoin as legitimate money in the country.
He's doing it all right.
Nayib Bukele for president, bro.
Dude, we need Trump to get in there and repeal whatever amendment that you can't be a citizen of you have to be a citizen of the United States to be the president. We already had some real sketchy stuff with Obama. Okay, never produced an actual dude. I saw a video. I don't know if this is true or not. I saw a video of a guy that looked up. This could be completely fake. I'd have to try it myself, and I'd be very curious. A guy went on to the internet and found his birth certificate and downloaded it, which I don't even know if that's possible, but somehow, and this is where it could be completely fake. But somehow he went on the internet, found it, downloaded a copy of like whatever's it's public information. So he gets it, and when he brings it into Adobe Illustrator, which immediately will convert it into a layer of files. Whatever's compiling that PDF, it will split it apart, and then he just starts dragging all the pieces off, like someone forged it. I was like, what? I used to do that for my old job. I used to go and like download a manual or something like that, or a how-to, an instructional, whatever. I would just download it and then bring it into Illustrator and then just break it apart and use it as a template. So that's what I was like, dude. I can't. That would just be the darndest thing.
Well, his name is Barack.
But anyway, what I was saying is that we've already kind of gotten on the edge of that. We've already had Arnold Schwarzenegger as a governor, so it's like we're dancing with it already. Let's get whatever his name is, Bukele in here.
I'd be for it, but he's
'Cause
probably
that dude is.
he's
that's-
probably a
that
lizard
is-
too, bro.
I don't know, man. I like when he was. I think he was talking to Tucker or somebody, and he was like, "What was the first thing you did when you got in office?" He's like, "First thing I did, we prayed." I was like, "Heck yeah, dude! Heck yeah, dude! Get those higher powers with you, man. Get on the big man's good side." And then it's just like, we just armed the police and just rounded everybody up. I was like, get those bad guys. And then they're like, "Oh, he's putting them in labor camps." Bro, these are the nicest labor camps you've ever seen, ever. I'd rather be in a labor camp than in friggin' these private prisons where the guards fight you for sport or make you fight each other for sport. I'd much rather be in El Salvador labor camp. Get out of town, bro. People were criticizing this guy like, "Oh, they're deporting them back to the..." Dude, these guys are getting sent to like pretty decent places and they make money.
Yeah, you're right. I take back. Maybe he's not a lizard because the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has been attacking him in El Salvador ever since the whole Bitcoin thing. So like, he's definitely like in the crosshairs of the deep state for
Yeah,
sure.
dude, anybody who's in the crosshairs of the deep state, I'm being very charitable to them.
Hold
Not
up,
to say, but
but Trump was too,
was
and now look what happened.
He
Well,
is
yeah,
not
well,
anymore, dude.
Was too. Like we don't even
Yeah.
know if that was real. I
No.
think that was all a charade, personally. But
I think they were worried. I do think that they were worried. I think that they were worried he was going to come in and he was going to start exposing stuff. But I think he got in there and he's just like, I'm going to set myself up real nice for when this is over. And that's it.
I don't even think they were worried, bro. He was on the list, bro. He was on the client list, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll use him as a pawn." You know.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's talk about Judaism and how to convert. The big bad bill. I think you're spelling beautiful wrong. There's a lot more letters in there. Okay.
Listen,
It's-
here's something interesting. Sorry to cut you off. Speaking of the big beautiful bill, have you noticed that they're using the 3 Bs like as a thing? Because remember, Build Back Better, and then you got Big Beautiful Bill. There's something there. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. I just thought of that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, 222 is what?
6.
6.
I've seen that before, and I've also seen people take the B, right, and they like you're talking about with the illustrator, and they like pull
Well,
the
yeah, I mean,
sixes out of it, you know,
3 lowercase b's.
right? 666.
But also, I mean, it's 222, which is 6.
it is.
And then
There's
Build Back
something-
Better, another 6. And then I'm sure there's another BBB somewhere. Maybe 6.
It's
It's
interesting.
cyclical, man. It's math. It's
It's
so
interesting.
obvious.
Yeah, super. Interesting.
I was never the numbers guy. I was like, all right, yeah, coincidence. All right. Coincidence, whatever. But you said BBB, and I'm like, what could that possibly be? That's 2, 2, and 2. And then I've got this Star of David, this beautiful Star of David where you got 2 and 2 and 2 right there. Look at that. 6.
Yep.
Bro.
There's something there, man. I got that's something that's always been super interesting to me, but I don't have the capacity to like log all that into my brain, right? Like I
Yeah.
listen to other people break that stuff down, and I'm like, whoa, bro, you know. But then like I try to get into it, and I'm like, it's just too much for me,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they're using a lot of things right now, that are like real tactile. We're gonna see a lot of the red states, the ones that were going independent, the ones that were like we're gonna break away from the system if it keeps going crazy. We're gonna see a lot of those places get unstable pretty quick. I think that's what I'm foreseeing. We're gonna see Texas keep getting hit. We're gonna see some of the other southern states. We'll probably see Florida get friggin' wrecked. We haven't really got hit with anything too bad yet. Knock on some wood. But I mean, it's. Have you seen the Doomsday Map?
The one from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
where
all the sea levels have risen.
yeah, all the coastlines are gone, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you see that get overlaid with Bill Gates's farmland?
yeah, all his farmland is not flooded.
What a quinky dink.
Yeah, wow, if you say so.
He bought all the high points in the United States.
Yeah,
Curious.
yeah, there's something there for sure, man. Something there for sure, bro. You know, a comment that happened a little while ago from Odin. He said, "I just want the aliens to be real. We need help." Listen, bro, be careful with that, man, because that's what's coming next, dude. They're gonna hit us with the alien thing, and they're gonna tell us it's real, and everybody's gonna believe it, and that's gonna be like the next big problem. All right, yeah, it's gonna be the next terrorism, or the next communism, or the next COVID is gonna be the aliens. All right, I'm telling you, this is coming, bro. Project Bluebeam.
It has to. Everybody's preparing for it, man. Everybody's preparing for it. Everybody's moving toward cryptos, but then not really. I feel like that's like a just in case their timeline's off. Make hey, while the sun is high or whatever it is. I feel like that's like let's keep things stable right now. But I think that all these guys are just stockpiling gold, stockpiling precious metals, rare earth minerals. It's like, yeah, they work for cars, but a lot of other stuff does. It gives you a reason to. I mean, you think about how much rare earth minerals you need for these batteries, right? Okay, quite a bit. But you see the size of the mines. Where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
Where's the rest? You dug a city-size hole in the ground. Where's it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Anunnaki's coming back to get their gold, bro. You know,
Could be coming back to get their gold. Could be coming back to get other stuff. I mean, gold is gold. They could want some other things.
yeah,
They'd be like, gold is the dollar. We want the new thing. We want the lithium. We want the whatever. Who knows, man? But I think, and I've thought this for a long time. I've said it a million times in this podcast. I think the people that we don't know who they are 100%, they know that something is coming.
well, they're
Something's gonna happen, and
they're creating it. They're bringing it on. That's
Yeah.
the thing, right? It's not
Yeah.
like they know of something that we don't know about that's coming. I think that they have actively, for the longest time, been like building this thing to happen, right? Like,
Didn't that happen in a movie? I'm trying to think, man. When you say that, it makes me think of like some guy trying to like bring about the end, or some people trying. Oh man, dude,
Terminator.
maybe
That's what I've always thought. I always felt like,
this kind of Terminator.
I always felt like the prophecies, right? Any prophecies that you think about, right? We talk about like all the shit happening eventually, right? Like it's coming, right? The prophecies are going to come true. I always felt like those prophecies were made up in order for them to come true, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Like they tell us like, oh yeah, like this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and when it does, like, you know, the next big shift happens, right? The new age happens or whatever. And I just feel like they created the prophecies, and they created all the steps leading up to the fulfillment of the prophecies, and then they'll fulfill the prophecy, you know, and it's like that's part of their little cult. You know, their little cult is that's how they control everybody, in my opinion.
yeah. Like, oh, there's gonna be this big, this great reset, and then they're like making it happen. It's like it's not a natural thing. You're not like, oh, look out, this thing is going to happen one day. It's like you're making it happen.
Yep.
The world is heating up, and there's going to be ice caps melting. You making them melt.
You're spraying shit in the
You're
sky, bro.
spraying stuff.
Yeah, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah, climate change. You know, it's like,
You're
oh,
making it happen. Oh, the dollar is going to become unstable, and you're printing more money.
Yep.
Trillions of dollars.
Yeah, and this new 666 bill or big beautiful whatever it is, you know, they're raising the debt ceiling by like $5 trillion, bro. That means
$1 trillion.
$5 trillion. That means money printer go burr, bro. Right? Like
Yeah.
that's going to happen. They know
Oh,
it's
there's
going to
going to be no
happen.
tax on your overtime. You're going to make $1 billion and it's going to be worth nothing.
Yep.
Great. Still, you're still going to be poor.
Yep.
Still, because you're not going to get taxed on $400 that's only worth 140. Yay. It's got the buying power of less than $100. Big whoop, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's another big reason why I think there's a big like monetary shift that's about to happen,
Well, that's what
right?
I'm saying. And they're making it happen. They're going to
It-
go, oh.
You know, speaking of this, I actually heard Scott Bessent, who's one of the guys in Trump's cabinet that's involved in all of the monetary stuff, right? He is the economic hitman, literally. He's the guy, right? And he's in charge of all this stuff for the United States right now, which is insane to me. It's ironic, really, right? But he even said, I think we talked about this before. Are you familiar with the Bretton Woods Agreement?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm a little foggy on it. What was it?
So basically, after I think it was after World War One, or it might have been after World War Two. Either way, the rest of the world was blown to smithereens, right? Like Europe was a wasteland. Like everywhere was just toast except the United States. So we created this agreement with the rest of the world that was basically like, hey, look, you guys produce stuff and send it to the US because we're the only place left with consumers that can buy the stuff. So basically, you send us real stuff and we'll send you fiat. We'll send you the IOUs, the money, right? We'll
Yeah.
send you dollars, okay? And the whole idea was that we would help the world rebuild by doing this, right? Like we'd give them something to do, build us shit, and in return we'd give them the money, right? So that they could rebuild their infrastructure and their cities and all this stuff, right? Well, Scott Bessent, the economic hitman, literally said like a month or two ago, he was talking about a new Bretton Woods agreement, a new monetary regime, right? A new system that's going to come because of all this stuff. I think they're imploding the dollar and all that shit on purpose, right? And like you were saying, maybe they are hoarding the gold for some reason, or maybe there just isn't any left. Maybe that's why we don't audit Fort Knox, right? Because there's nothing there to audit, bro. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man, I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if these elites, these secret shadowy figures, and it's not figures, it's families, if they don't have all the stuff, they don't have all the cryptos, the biggest wallet, Larry Fink, whatever, dude, I'm sure that these elite families have the biggest wallets, private wallets. I'm sure, obviously.
of course.
Gates, Bezos, Zuckerberg, these crypto billionaires, these social media billionaires, they got all the land. All of it. The primest of real estate. It's like the things that you need when the power goes out. You need not dollars because they're worthless. You need gold. You need silver. You need other precious metals. You need things to make batteries that last a long time. You need rare earth minerals, right? They learned how to do all this and all of a sudden it's a hot commodity. You need data, stores. So when you get the power back on, you can monitor everything, or you've got loads, you can get right back to where you were. You can reset faster. These guys have all these private servers and all kinds of stuff, access, backdoor access to everything. Land. You got to have land. Otherwise, you can't be in some apartment in New York City when the power goes out. You're going to get eaten alive. And that's what they're hoarding, man.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And it is interesting that, like you said, Larry Fink, right? Larry Fink has the most Bitcoin, me to say, but they hold the most. They hold more than Satoshi Nakamoto, the dude who invented Bitcoin. They hold more than him, right? There's two ways this plays out in my mind. the collapse happens regardless, okay? Whether it happens tomorrow or in another 10 years, or maybe they drag it on for another 100 years. I don't know, right? But it's gonna happen. And when that collapse happens, either that Bitcoin is going to be the only thing that like regular people could get their hands on that has value, right? Like that'll be the new universal basic income, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
That's what I was trying to think of. Man, God, I've been trying to think of that word for an hour now.
UBIs, yeah, universal basic income. So that's one option. That'll be the new monetary, you know, structure is that thing, right? Or we find out that it was all created by like the NSA or the CIA, and like that goes to zero too, and it was just a big scheme to get everybody to put their money into it so that they couldn't or they aren't putting their money into the land assets.
Dude,
Right.
that would be the biggest rug pull of all time.
Yeah, it would be the ultimate rug pull. So it's one or the other. It's a 50-50 chance in my mind, right? The way I see it is though, if I don't put into the Bitcoin, I'm screwed regardless of which one happens, right? But at least if I'm
Yeah.
dumping into this one finite digital asset, I got a 50-50 shot that when the collapse happens, that is the thing that we all end up surviving off of, and I've stacked enough to not just be eating crickets for the rest
Yeah.
of my life, right? Or at least I get
That's
flavored
it.
crickets.
It's all of the finite resources, right? So like a billionaire and these multi-billionaires, they can acquire all of the finite resources. Because people, and this is engineered, I think it's on purpose, regular people don't have the ability to make it day to day, year to year, with and also hold on to finite resources. They have to trade them to survive. So the billionaires come and they go, "Hey, give me your gold for cash for gold. Give us your gold. We'll give you cash. Start gambling a lot, and then give us your gold." Right? I see these videos of dudes going into these pawn shops and these jewelry stores or whatever, and they're like, "Yo, I need 60,000 for this chain. It's gold, whatever. 100 grand for this watch or whatever." And it's just, why? I lost a bet, and I got to pay up, so I need 60,000. It's like, wow, dude, you online gambled your way out of a finite resource for nothing. You not only did you're trading it, but you're also losing that too. So you have no finite resource and you lost $16,000.
Yeah, you're selling the actual valuable thing for dollars, which is just going to zero.
Yeah, and then same with land. Everybody's moving into the cities because there's where the best hospitals are, and everybody's getting sick all the time. So you have to live. There's no good health out there. There's no good hospitals in the middle of nowhere. There's no charging stations in the middle of nowhere. There's no Walmarts in the middle of nowhere. There's no E's in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows how to do anything anymore. So you have to live in the urban cities. You have to live in the suburbs that are just really cities with big houses. It's so everybody's in, and then guess what? All the land gets bought up.
Yep.
All of that land gets bought up by companies that can be dissolved like that by a billionaire, multi-millionaire, whatever.
Or confiscated by a government.
Confiscated by a government very easily, right? So they're taking the gold, they're taking the. I guarantee you, dude. I guarantee these cars are getting so expensive. These Teslas and all these electric cars getting confiscated, getting repoed. People can't afford them. They're going back to a bank. Banks stripping the batteries out of them, sending them back to the dealership. We'll keep what's
Yep,
valuable.
melting them down and
Give me
keeping
those
the
batteries.
goodies.
Give me those rare earth minerals. Dude, I'm telling you, man. And then, again, Bitcoin is another finite commodity. It's like they're just hoarding all that stuff. If we got to be, you either got to go all in on one or you got to diversify your portfolio pretty nicely and get some gold, get some land, get some stuff to make batteries that'll last you a while. Learn how to do things, get away from people, learn, like, because
you got to have assets, man. You got to have hard assets, whatever it is. This is what I've been telling people, right, around me, because people are tired of hearing me talk about Bitcoin, right? That's just the hard asset that I chose, right?
Yeah.
But there are other hard assets, like you're saying, gold, silver, whatever it is, land, right,
Yeah.
real estate, this type of thing. The whole idea is that as the dollar goes down to zero, which it is, you can look at the charts going back 100 years, it's just consistently going down, right? And eventually it's going to zero. So if you don't have a hard asset, you're going to own nothing and be happy, as Klaus Schwab says, right? When they turn the money printers on, especially with like this bill and this $5 trillion debt ceiling and all this stuff, right? When they turn that money printer on, every dollar they print makes every other dollar less valuable, right? And they're going to print way more than they printed during COVID. By the way, during COVID, they printed 40% of the world's money supply. So people who had been saving money for 50, 60 years in retirement or their savings account, if you're just saving dollars your whole life and you got up to COVID and you're about to retire and they turned the money printer on and they printed 40% of the world's money, they debased your savings by 40%. Just like that, they robbed you of almost half of what you spent your life saving in, right? So you have to have an asset that when that money printer goes on, because this is how it works. When the money printer goes on, hard assets go up, right? Real estate goes up, price of gold goes up, price of Bitcoin goes up. So pick one, dump into it, and cross your fingers that when the collapse happens, you're in one of the right assets that goes up and keeps you from having to eat the original flavored crickets.
Yeah, you're not getting Cool Ranch crickets, dude.
I at least want Cool Ranch crickets, bro. If you're gonna
Yeah.
make me eat the crickets, I want flavored crickets.
Give me those hot tacky crickets.
You know?
But that's you're 100% right. I mean, I think that's where things have to move toward. That's where everything's moving toward. That's what the billionaires are doing. You got to follow what the billionaires do. Do as the rich do. If they're diversifying or if they're just going all in on one thing, somebody's seeing what's happening and they're making a decision. But just the 9 to 5, I'll just play video games for the rest of the night. I'm just gonna watch Love Island and the one with the, you know, with the cameras and they're dating.
Yeah.
That one, not good. Don't watch that stuff, dude. Learn how to do something. Figure
Yeah.
it out. Get a skill. Buy some land, dude. I was gonna buy a house that had some land on it.
That's
and
funny.
I couldn't. It didn't work. And I did find out though that you can buy businesses for 10% down, dude.
Yeah, and you can get an SBA loan, and
10% down with an SBA loan, dude.
the SBA loan you could get to cover that 10%. So you could buy a business with zero money down.
Bro. I was like, hold on a second.
I've been looking into that actually.
Opened up some doors here, man. I had enough money to buy a house, right? With a pretty good chunk down. I don't need a fraction of that to go buy a company. Small business, but buy a company.
Yep.
Whoa.
Listen, man,
All of a
I've
sudden,
been
I'm feeling pretty Jewish.
I've been talking I've been talking to my friends about this, man. You know, like I'm willing to put my name on an SBA loan to go and grab a business that's profitable, because you can't just buy any business, right? You gotta do a little research, find one that's, you know, got a cash flow and it's profitable.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to slap my name on the SBA loan, right? To do that, right? And to get that money generating. And you can also do this with houses, bro. You can get a free house. I don't know if you know this. You can get a free house right now. You can literally go, because the bank owns a bunch of properties, right? BlackRock, all this, they have these houses that they're trying to sell, okay? And you can literally go and get, I forget what it's called, but you can use AI to do this, man. I'm watching videos on this. This guy's like breaking it all down. He's like, bro, look, you can find this property that's owned by the bank, and you can have AI draft up this contract where you're willing to take over the responsibilities of the property, including the mortgage, with zero money down. And that's what these millionaires and billionaires are doing. They're drafting up these contracts, they're sending them to the bank, and they're saying, hey, look, You got so many of these properties. You don't want to deal with this one, right? Let me take it over for you. I'll take over all the debt, everything involved with the whole property with zero money down. And the banks are like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
And
you just
and they
you
immediately
transfer ownership of it.
Yep, they
'Cause
immediately get a
it's
renter.
it's a liability for them.
Yeah, it's a liability. And so you get the property, you get a renter, boom, cash flow. Same thing with the business. You get the SBA loan, get the dollars, let the government and the banks give you dollars that are going to zero.
You're buying companies with the government's dollars, the bank's dollars, and
That they
then
can just print.
what you try to find is like a company that is not, they're a little stone agey, that you can go and use AI to then optimize, because then you're immediately increasing the business.
Laundromat.
Laundromats, any kind of like like cleaning services and stuff that are just like real mom and poppy. You get in there, you hire some couple teenagers or whatever that can just do like the day-to-day stuff, and then you get some AI rolling in with some good ads, some automatic ads and blah blah blah. You start just spamming the internet with the stuff, and all of a sudden, oh, you get AI agents to answer the phones for you. You can get like a telemarket. You can buy like some kind of like online service or whatever, and you just, dude, you can AI half the job away. Start making some real money, dude. Start making some real cash.
Start thinking, bro, because I'm not kidding when I say I'll slap my name on there, bro. You know what I mean? I am not afraid to take printed dollars from the bank, right? Take the risk and do something like that. Because if you don't do something like that, you're going to eat original flavored crickets, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm down.
Dude,
Hit
there's
me up.
some,
Listeners, hit me up.
yeah, let's buy Infinite Rabbit Hole. Let's buy the other podcasts and just take over everything.
Look, man, you know, listen, there are people who are doing that. They're starting these like podcast studios, like they're buying like these houses, these multi-room mansions in these houses, and they're building a podcast studio in each room, right?
Yeah.
Like your mom's house, like Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Right. All those guys like Bobby Lee's podcast, you know, Tom Segura's podcast, like all these guys, right? They're under this umbrella, and it's just like at the same building.
Yeah.
You just go over to the next cubicle and it's the next podcast set.
Yeah, all the guys are there, all the producers are there, everything just gets recorded and sent back to the producers, and they just do their thing all in one spot.
Yep.
It's not a bad idea. All the ads, everything is just done under one roof.
You want to know the best idea I think I ever had? Something like that, an all-in-one type production house, if you will, for live music, a live music venues under one roof. You know the Sam Ash over there on Colonial,
Yeah.
right? That whole plaza is like dead. It's a dead plaza, right? Except for the Sam Ash.
Oh, that's closed.
Oh, Sam Ash is closed now? Perfect. That's even better because that's the perfect spot in the plaza.
Perfect spot.
We go, we get the SBA loan, we buy the plaza, we renovate the inside. You know how they got over here, they got the acoustic room, over here they got the drum room, the guitar area, the live PAs and all that. They've sectioned off. You build a stage in each one, right? And you just have shows going on every day, right? You have acoustic shows over here in this room. You can have metal shows going on over there. You got the nightclub area over there where they're playing the hip hop R&B. You got the Latin fusion area over there, right? And you just, boom.
Bro, it's like bar crawling, but for live music.
Yeah, all in one spot.
Yeah, you get a little food and beverage in there. Not food, just beverage in there. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, in that main area, the main big area, you throw a couple food trucks or whatever in there, you know,
Yeah,
and
a couple
boom.
vendors.
There you go, vendors. That's the
Food
term.
vendors. Yeah, dude, that's an all right,
good idea.
Talk offline.
That's a good idea, right? I'm telling you. And we could do it all with printed dollars, bro. Somebody else, the government's printed dollars, dude. We don't have to spend the money on it.
And this is what we're talking about, guys. Okay, I know this is inside baseball here, but this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of stuff that sets you apart from the cricket eaters. Because if you don't level up, you're leveling down because of inflation and because they're trying to take your assets. You got to have something in this world. And it's doing the same old thing is not getting you anywhere. It's just getting you in line for the kill shelter, for the slaughterhouse. Just what it is. You are fodder. You're a cell that they get to just plug in. You're just a dude in goo in the Matrix, just powering the battery.
Useless eaters, bro.
That's it. And I'm telling you, man, there was some guy I heard that was talking about like the USAID was going to try to kill like 50 million people or something like that, and they did it. Like, as soon as they got involved, everything they got involved with turned out to be like net deaths. I was like, cheese and rice, dude. You can't need them. You can't need them. You got to be independent.
Yeah.
You got to be. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jeffrey Epstein is a freaking stand-up guy, bro. You got to take. He should have done a TED talk on how to do business.
He definitely killed himself. There was no funny business there.
Yeah, man. He was not afraid of anybody.
Can't believe that, bro.
He wasn't afraid of anybody. He was a stand-up guy. He was just doing business, and he had a hankering for young ladies.
Listen, Elon, I know you listen to our show, Elon. All right, you don't have to hide it anymore, bro. Just dump the data, bro. Just dump all the data. All of it.
Yeah.
Just dump it.
Data dump. Stop tweeting. Are you a girl?
Just dump
Put
everything,
stuff
bro.
out there like a man, dude, like a South African man. Put stuff out.
Tell us about Pindar, the albino, 12-foot albino reptilian god who runs all of that shit. I want to know about Pindar. I want to know about, all of it, bro. Just data dump us.
Data dump, dude.
Get it over with, bro.
All the research that went into the Florida swamp ape, all the research that went into the Kandahar giants, all the Javelin rocket receipts for all the missiles they shot at those things that were flying over the bases in Afghanistan, all the funding for Area 51 and 59, all that. Dump it. Dump it.
Yep. That's the only way.
Anything we paid for with the what's that ziggurat? What do we put troops on the ziggurat of Ur?
The ziggurat of Ur? Yeah, we had troops there, bro. That's why we went over there.
Yeah, dude, freaking all that funding, whatever we pulled out of there,
The Stargates.
Stargates, all the Smithsonian when they confiscated all the findings in the Grand Canyon,
Oh yeah, the giants and stuff.
all the giants, dump it, dude. They dump.
I feel like at this point, dude,
Society would collapse immediately. Dude.
not even, bro. I feel like at this point, with the way things are going with like the Epstein and all that stuff, bro, like the only way we're gonna get like ahead of any of this is if something like that happens, right?
Yeah,
If there's
man, I
just
know a couple of people that if they did that, they would just walk outside and start shooting people.
probably
Just because it's like, oh, it's chaos. Just start shooting everybody.
stay strapped or get clapped, boys. You know.
Stay strapped or get clapped. Jeff the president.
She has a shirt with Winnie the Pooh that says that. Winnie the Pooh's holding a freaking MG and it says "Stay strapped or get clapped." Says Winnie the Pooh.
Dude, that should be your when you run for mayor of Titusville.
I'm not running for anything anymore, bro. With all this stuff the way it's going, bro, no way, dude.
You're a protected class when you run, dude.
Nah, me, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You might be. You're Jewish. You could do it.
You could be Jewish too. All you gotta do is run for Congress or something. You just gotta
You're
get in
right.
the state legislature, and then the
Yeah.
IDF's gonna come over, and they'll be like, Mossad's gonna come over and be like, hey, man, you want to do something bad? You want to do something naughty? We'll protect you after. You want to be bad boy? Like, all right, fine. And then you're protected. That's it.
Yeah.
You
I
just
think I
gotta
am.
do what they say, dude, and it'll be all right.
I think I'm gonna convert to Judaism, bro.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just making observations. I love the Jews. I love them. They're great. They're good people.
Yeah. It's never the people, bro. It's
Somebody,
you
no,
know.
the people are great. No, they're great.
Do the Jews love you? That's the question.
I don't know,
Anyway,
man. I don't know.
Well-
I hope they accept me with arms wide open because I'm ready for immunity and impunity. That's what I want.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You're ticking all the boxes, bro. I mean, you know,
Assalamu alaikum, dude.
that's it.
Shalom.
That's it. Well,
All right,
it's
guys.
been real. It's been fun. I'm glad we're back. Hopefully, we don't do another 6-week hiatus. you
No,
know.
definitely not. I'm not going to be moving anymore. Unfortunately, that sucks, and I don't get to build my cool studio that I wanted. But oh well.
Yeah, I feel like we've said I'm back on the show like one too many times, right? So let's
Bro, we're the elites. We're back.
yeah. Although it does, I
Just
feel
when
like
you think everything's cool,
it creates a
back.
bit of tension, right, for the audience. It's like, what happened to these guys, bro? And then like 6 weeks later, we're like,
Yeah, like another Jurassic Park movie, dude. It's Fast 8. Oh my gosh, they're back. Dude, we're Fast 8, dude.
oh man, we'll talk about this next week. But the Paul Walker actually being the guy who produced the movie. What was the movie with the kids, man? And it was like a right wing movie. It was like the kids saving the kids.
No,
Yeah. Like the
the one
producer.
with Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, the producer's Paul Walker, bro. Like, just look at the pictures, look it up. You're gonna they do the side by sides. Yeah, I saw a video, man. I don't know, it's just internet videos, bro. The nerds on the internet, they're crazy. But like, they were like, yo, look, he's got the same birthmarks and the same freckles and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, bro.
Oh my gosh! All right, we'll talk about that next time. Jeez.
Yeah, we'll get into that next time. Anyways, I got nothing else.
Hoax death. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Next
Yeah,
episode,
bro.
That's the title. The more hoax death. All right, guys.
All right, hit the button, babe.